This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Buzz. So excited to be speaking with Jon Bass about Bad Shabbos. How are you, John?
Ooh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just chilling in New York.
Awesome.
Not the
Well,
Upper West Side though. Not the Upper West Side. No death here.
I lived in the Upper West Side. It's not just death there. There's plenty of stuff. Definitely a lot of Shabbat dinners, but not as much death as you might think. So, I was listening back to our last conversation. We spoke like right before the strike, about 2 years ago, about miracle workers, end times, which was a lot of fun. And at the end of our conversation, you're like, I have this passion project. We're trying to get it in the festival circuit. It's called Bad Shabbos. And you said that it was about a Shabbat dinner. And so my first question is, in your own life, do you find you say Shabbat or Shabbos more often?
Oh, that I'm a Shabbat guy through and through. Always have been. Always will be.
I would agree. I assume this is definitely not your first Shabbat dinner in this film.
No, no. I grew up in a Reform Judaic house, Judaism house, a Jewish house, a chill Jewish house. So we did a lot of like, especially when we were growing up, we would have every Friday night was Shabbat dinner.
And how much of that do you think was just preparing, like you didn't know what was preparing you for this role?
I mean, none of it. I don't think I could have ever thought that I was going to be making a movie about a Shabbat dinner. But glad that it happened. Glad that it happened, especially with this movie, which is just the sweetest, funnest, weirdest Shabbat dinner you could possibly imagine.
How did the project come to you, and what was your first reaction?
My first reaction was, oh my God, a good script. Um, and then I met with the director, Daniel Robbins, and he was just like almost too chill and too comfortable, where I was like, what is this going to be? And it was just like so amazing. I mean, the whole process was so amazing. Like he's such a collaborative director. And we were able to just like go through the script together and really, you know, get all of those scenes to like a place where everyone was feeling so heard and comfortable. And yeah, I think you can see it all on the screen.
What would you say you contributed most to your own character?
Um, what did I contribute most to my own character? I mean, it was sort of just like, going scene by scene, sort of being like, what, why is he doing this? What is his main intention? And uh the main intention for my character from beginning to end is like making sure that everything goes right with my engagement. So it was just like making sure every single thing was about Meg, about our relationship, about like really getting everything about that so that like the story just flowed beyond and I was able to just like focus on that one thing. And then, small things here and there, like when Ash's character, Benjamin, asks me what I'm gonna do for my bachelor party. And I'm like, I don't know, probably just like, hang out and karaoke. Oh, Meg might be doing karaoke with her friends who might like do that as well. And it's just, just like small things like that to, really understand who this guy is.
I think that while there are certainly some regrettable things these characters do, I think David is pretty well intentioned. He's trying to do the right thing, trying to like help bring these families together. What's your read on him?
On David,
Yeah.
nice Jewish guy. Good Jewish son wants his soon to be wife to feel like she's part of the tribe and would do anything for her, which obviously, makes a Jewish mother very uncomfortable. So he's got a lot to contend with on this night.
You have some pretty formidable co-stars, starting, of course, with Kira Sedgwick and David Paymer. What can you say about, knowing you'd be working with them and that actually doing it?
I mean, Keir Sedgwick has just been a part of my movie going and TV life since I was a kid. So getting to meet her and getting, we just immediately clicked. She was so cool, and just so sweet, and luckily only lived a couple blocks from set. So like she's she's a true, Upper West Sider, and it showed. And then Paymer, I mean, I don't know if you remember the movie Carpool, which was like this 90s kids movie, but I watched that thing over and over again, not realizing that Paymer is also like one of the greatest, you know, uh, character actors of our generation. Uh, and you know, uh, getting to work with someone whose movie I saw like 50 times when I was a kid, he was already my dad, so it worked out pretty well.
So enjoy the sibling dynamic that you have in this film.
Hmm.
What can you say about the adult kids?
The adult kids. I mean, Theo, who plays my brother, has a lot of work to do in this movie, but I feel like um and he had a lot of work to do while shooting the movie because he was at Columbia while we were shooting. So he had his hands totally tied, and I was just amazed by him. I'm still amazed by him. He's like up at Columbia right now, putting together play after play after play, and he really does feel like a younger brother now. Um, and I just constantly want like the best for him. And then Milana is just another person who, like, it does every time we see each other now, it's like I'm seeing a sibling. It feels like we're so comfortable with each other, and um I don't know. She's just the best. She really does just bring like pure light to every room she enters, and is able to make everyone so comfortable. Like her on set, like all of a sudden you're like, okay, we're in good hands. We can go. Also, she is such a killer improviser that like any scene where there was any sort of dead like moment would just all of a sudden you'd hear her like burst in with the funniest line you've ever heard. So, yeah, I mean, God, we got so unbelievably lucky with this cast, and I'm just so excited that it's finally getting to be seen in theaters with a larger audience.
You had the chance to see it at festivals.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was definitely at a couple of the Tribeca screenings. Um, and I think the main thing that I learned from watching this movie with a crowd, with a packed theater, is that that's how movies are supposed to be watched. That's especially how this movie's supposed to be watched. Um, it's so hard to get anyone to any original film these days. It feels like you're like going through molasses, because if the thing is not like marketed to high heaven and has like, you know, double the budget of what it cost in the marketing, it's like, how are you ever going to hear about it? Um, and that just feels a little antithetical to the movie going experience, which is supposed to be this thing where you're like, we used to just go to the movies and not like be like marketed to the movies. Um, but now I think there is a world where this movie gets the word of mouth and gets to really shine while it's in theaters.
Do you think that it is something that can be universally accessible, or if you're, Jewish and have had certain experiences, to be like, well, I can get a little bit more out of this film, even if everyone else will still enjoy it?
I think the latter, I think without a doubt it is universal, but if you've been to a Shabbat dinner, you're obviously going to be a little bit more in on the jokes. Um, that is not to say that it's not like, yeah, fully universal, and it is about family and about love and connection, um, which is the most universal thing I think for everyone. We all have families, right? For the most part.
I feel like the natural, sequel has to be Bad Pesach, just to be a little bit like, you still have somebody's like, what is that? I don't know how to pronounce that. What is that?
Oh no,
For Passover.
Daniel's already told me he's working on the sequel. He wants to do a wedding. He wants to do the wedding, which you know what? Perfect. Let's go. Jewish weddings are always intense.
I feel like there are definitely Jewish wedding movies, but I feel like most of the wedding movies, it's not specifically about like a Jewish, like that's not the main part of it.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think there would probably be something that goes wrong at the wedding that the family needs to come together and solve hopefully not another death, but maybe something. What's worse than death? I don't know. Uh, I can't think of it right now, but I'm sure there's something worse that we can hit on.
I say you do like a golem, like reincarnated,
Oh
Jewish
yeah,
mysticism
yeah,
stuff. Really
exactly.
freaky horror pivot from a comedy start. There's endless ideas.
Oh, I love that.
Well, on the note of that, as I mentioned before, we spoke about Miracle Workers End Times, and I was like, "Is this really it?" And you're like, "I think so." They like gave us parting gifts, like it's dead. There's Miracle Workers is a wonderful blessing of the past, right? There's nothing more in the future for that show, right?
I don't think so. I think we've all moved on to our with our lives, and we still talk all the time, and obviously dream like that show was I think when we were talking last I was saying like it's the gift that keeps on giving. Um I think any one of us would drop everything we're doing to do another season because it's just it really did feel like home.
And it's great to see everyone doing so well. Geraldine, in Thunderbolts, and Karen, a nice Indian boy. As we said last time, Daniel's career is still waiting to take off. Someday he'll get there, but see how he does if anybody ever recognizes him and gives him a
Yeah.
big
And that
franchise
young
role or
up and
something.
comer Steve Buscemi just keeps on showing up and stuff. It's amazing.
Isn't it funny that I forgot Steve? I like went through everyone else and was like Steve Buscemi, whatever. He's the youngest of the cast. He'll get there eventually.
He'll get there eventually. We're hoping for him. Yeah.
Well, what have you been up to since that time? But besides that, well, this obviously was filmed by the time we talked. But what else has been going on for you?
For me, I've been focusing a lot more on my own projects from a writing and directing point of view. And I put out my first movie on TikTok in 45 parts, which was called Sorry About the Beautiful Sounds of New York. Um, but I put out my own movie called Carolyn Gray, which if you just Google Carolyn Gray, you'll be able to find it very easily. I released it for free during the strike because I wanted to try something out that was a little different, and really loved it, and really got my director's hat on and felt really good. So I think that trying to get back to that is going to be a big part of 2025.
Anything else lined up that you can review?
No, not right now. Right now, I'm just trying to get the next movie off the ground.
Great. And when you have time, what are you watching, either film or TV, that you've really stuck with you recently?
I mean, I think everyone and their mother is watching The Last of Us right now. So obviously The Last of Us. But I recently rewatched The Full Monty, uh, which is this like, UK film from like the early 2000s, I think. And was not expecting to bawl my eyes out so hard. Uh, but if you haven't seen The Full Monty, check out The Full Monty. It's a great little flick.
Also, a pretty epic year as an Oscar trivia enthusiast. That year, it lost Best Picture to Titanic, but the other nominees were As Good as It Gets, Good Will Hunting, and LA Confidential. And I feel like you can't
Was that
really
98?
find 90. Well, I would say 97. Yes, the ceremony was in 98, but like I'm big on that too. It's the 97, movie year, but that's a pretty epic year. I feel like you can't really get
You
close to
can't
that anymore these days.
exactly. Well, maybe in the future, we never know.
That's true. No, I appreciate that too. I had a colleague when I was in college studying, cinema studies, who was like, all the best movies have come out already. And it's like, sure, we should have appreciation, but shouldn't we also hope that there's so much great, groundbreaking stuff on TikTok or elsewhere to look forward to?
Yeah, hopefully the next one's not on TikTok. I'd like to do a real one. Not that that one isn't real, but it's just I don't want to devalue it in any way, but I did devalue it by giving it out for free. So,
Lots.
but yeah, I think The Full Monty is a good movie to check out, and then Oscar loser of the 1997 Oscars. And oh, I think The Pit is the best thing I've seen on TV in a long, long time. I think The Pit is both revolutionary and just making the wheel better. In terms of, I've watched so much TV over the years. I'm like a vulture, so I've seen almost everything. and watching something that's so comforting and you know it, but also so new and exciting was kind of like a mind-blowing experience for me. So if anyone from the pit is watching this interview, please put me on it. I will do anything on the pit. I love that show.
Awesome, John. Well, thank you so much. This was such a pleasure.
Yeah, it was great. Good seeing you again, Abe.